there's this mindset where you're going to college for 4 years, and once you graduate, you have to find a job that you're going to do for the rest of your life. And that's really overwhelming because I don't know what I want to do next week. Like, I'm Congolese and Rwandese, so that's like Central Africa and kind of like East Africa. But I was born in Congo DR, and then I spent most of my childhood in Zambia. And then I lived in Tennessee for like a year. So we moved in 2004, and we lived in Tennessee for like a year, and then we've been living in Minnesota ever since 2005 or so, around that time. But I went to school like in St. Paul's, like Harding High School, and I didn't really know where I wanted to go. I was just applying someone that's going to accept me and give me the most financial support. And I also didn't want to be in the middle of nowhere. Like, I wanted to be in the cities. So the U of M was perfect for that. But when I first came to U of M, I was in College of Education and Human Development for like a year and a half. But I want to be a social studies teacher. And then, like, if I want to teach secondary education, I have to like transfer over to College of Liberal Arts. And so around like my sophomore year in like spring, that's when I transferred to CLA. And most of my major, like, I'm doing sociology of law, crime, and deviance. I'm doing African studies. Like, all my like interests were in CLA, so it made more sense for me to be in CLA. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. At first, so I've always wanted to be a teacher, and when I got to when I came into the university, I originally wanted to be an English teacher, but just like I started volunteering at North High School, and I was like, maybe I want to do social studies instead. And so I've always known I wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't know what kind of teacher I wanted to be. Like maybe a history course or something like that. So North High School had one of the first African American studies, and the teacher I was teaching, her name was Miss Courtney Bell. And so when I heard about that, I was like, I never had that experience when I was in high school. Like, I knew a little bit about Black history, but not that much. So to have like a whole class just dedicated to like African American studies was really interesting to me. And I just wanted to see how the teacher was teaching students, because North Minneapolis is a predominantly Black school. And it's like predominantly low income as well. And so I wanted to see, how is the teacher interacting with students? How is she teaching predominantly Black students about their own history, and just to like learn as I'm going into the profession as well. So I went to North High School starting my sophomore year, and I fell in love with the students, with the teacher, and it was just like an amazing experience. And I started, so I was done with my 50 hours by like my sophomore year, but I went into junior year where I also started like just going in when I could in Miss Bell's classroom. But at this point, she was also teaching a sociology course, a class at North High School. And I was debating between, I think it was my sophomore year actually, I was debating between English and social studies. So when I got into Miss Bell's classroom at North High School, I was like, dang, like maybe social studies isn't that bad. And she became like my mentor in a way as I started going there. So just hearing about her experience as a teacher, just like kind of drew me more towards sociology. And that's what she did to sociology of law, crime, and deviance. And knowing that Black students are really impacted by the criminal justice system. And so if I am, or even like students of color in general, lower income communities, so all these identities that I'm going to be working with in the future, somehow they might be impacted by the criminal justice system. And so I just wanted to get that lens if I do go into communities that are more victim to that system. Like, how can I be more aware of the systems that are impacting them once they step out of my classroom? How can I support them? So just having that lens as I'm going into these different communities, that was really important. And just sociology is just the study of society in general. So I just think as an educator, you should, I don't know, I think you should come in with like a sense of like just society in general, because the students have lives outside of their classroom, and like the things that we talk about in society are most likely impacting the students that we teach. And so I just started sociology of law, crime, and deviance, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with education. But again, it does because of my students. So I just wanted to have that lens as an educator. And so I was like, well, let me just do sociology. And then for African American studies, I guess it was just developing the language to talk about the Black experience, especially since I'm a first-gen immigrant. And so I think that if you grew up in the U.S. and if you come from like your ancestors were slaves, like African Americans or Black Americans, to the first generation, Black first generation experience is very, like, those are two different experiences. And so I want, as somebody who is being racialized as an African in the U.S. as an immigrant, because like back home, I didn't even have to think about race because everybody around me was Black. But coming here in the U.S., that was like something I had to think about because everybody sees me, they see Black. But my history is different from like Black Americans who've been here all their lives. And so I just wanted to develop that language. What does it mean for me to be in these different spaces? How do I develop the language? And even like learning about my own history as well, like just African history. So I just wanted to understand myself, but also understand different identities in the Black community so I can develop the language to talk about that experience and to understand myself as well. It was kind of both. So because I'm a spoken word artist, I have to do a lot of time researching the topics I want to talk about because I pretty much use the things that I've learned in my classrooms in my poetry. So as I'm performing, I'm kind of like bringing awareness to like social issues that I've learned about in like my sociology class, so like different systems of inequality. And so just like bringing awareness to those different topics. And so through my own research, I was able to like understand all these different issues in complex ways, but also through, like I said, Courtney Bell, Keith Mays. He's an African American studies professor, and I've been taking his classes since like my first year of college, and now this is my last year. So I feel like he's seen me grown. And I don't know, his classes have really helped me reflect on all these different things, but I've also gotten to know him as like a person as well. He's becoming like another mentor as well. So just having like professors like Keith Mays and Courtney Bell, and like they work together pretty closely sometimes. So just those have been like my two main mentors. But yeah, so it's just like interactions that I've had with other professors or other people around me and based off of my own research as well in my classes. So it's just a mixture of everything that came together. I'll start by talking about like a different professor. For my sociology classes, one of the professors that I was able to connect with, his name is Michael Walker. He's a sociology of law, crime, and deviance professor. And I just liked the conversations that were taking place in class and just going out my way to like get to know him as a person as well. And he's also a Black professor as well. And so I know for me, I've never had a Black teacher until I got into college. And so just having a sociology professor talking about all these different, because as of right now, it would be cool to be a sociology professor sometime in the future, but I don't know. I don't know my whole future just yet. But yeah, so I wanted to be into sociology. And so I just got to know him a little bit more, going to office hours and just getting to know about his research as well. And I also became a part of the McNair Scholars Program, which is a program that helps like first-gen students do research and prepare for graduate school as well. And because I already had class with Michael Walker, and I was pretty involved in the discussions as well, and I already built a relationship with him, I just reached out to him and was like, can you be my advisor for this program? And so I was working with him the whole summer. And so until now, like we still do like check-ins here and there just to like, and like, I don't know, like these people just care. They care about what I'm doing with my life or what's next. It's like all your life, like here, like all my life I've been in school, you know? So I don't know what's out there. And so these professors or like all my mentors are doing things that I want to do in the future. Miss Courtney Bill is teaching an Afro high school class. I want to do that in the future. Keith Mays is teaching African American studies, and he's like the way he's interacting with like just discussion based. I want to do that in the future. Or Michael Walker with his sociology of law, crime, and deviance class. I want to do that in the future, and research and everything. Just being presented with all these different possibilities allows me to see what I'm capable of doing. And all these professors are Black, and there's not that many Black professors. And so just seeing that they went through this experience that that's we're underrepresented in is pretty empowering to me. And it's not just like one thing. It's like multiple different things. So the reason why all these like professors and these teachers like are my mentors, because they're not just studying, they're also being active as well. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to just study. I don't want to just teach. I just want to like make relationships and connections. And so I know that for Keith Mays' class, like 2 weeks ago, like he brought high school students from like Anoka, like, to be in classrooms in the discussions. 1 or 2 years ago, Miss Courtney Bell brought students in Rose Brewer's class, which is also another African American studies professor, and in Keith Mays' class. And so just seeing students, because most of the students here are white students. And so seeing all these young Black students walking on campus and being in these classrooms was really empowering to me, because those teachers allow the students to come in so that they can see other possibilities as well that they can like be in contact with. And even with Michael Walker, just I think working with him with his research helped me see what's out there, because I think he's working with inmates and just like does research and trying to understand like their life in prisons and jails. And so knowing that he's not just a professor, but he's also going outside and like actually coming in contact with the people that he's talking about, and even presenting his research in school, and not in school, in class as well, was really important to me, just to know that these professors are not just standing here just to like talk, but they're also doing things outside of their lives. And I think they've presented that to me in different ways, being in classrooms, but also outside of classrooms as well, and just talking about it. So I guess it's just all through conversations that have affirmed for me that I want to be a teacher, and seeing the impact that all these professors have had, not just on campus, but outside of campus as well, and just listening to their journeys of how they came to be where they are, especially now that I'm a senior, because it's like, dang, like, I don't know what I know what I'm doing, but again, it's like, it's just so scary, but because I've already built these relationships, like, throughout my college experience, now that I'm talking to them and hearing about their experiences, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. Like, they went through this, I'm gonna be okay. So it's just about building those relationships outside of classroom and just keeping them updated with my own life as well, because I know they care about, because they're pretty much, they're seeing me, they're watching me grow, so they care about me as well. So just reaching out to them, asking for letters of recommendations. I would say put yourself in places that you want to be, or reach out to people that, so like I said, all these mentors of mine, they're doing things that I want to do, I possibly want to do in the future. Maybe I'll change my mind, maybe I'll do something different, but those are all things I'm interested in. So put yourself in that space and reach out to people, and don't be afraid to reach out to people, because people want to talk about themselves. So like, people love talking. So if you like know a professor, or you know somebody else is doing something that you're interested in, just reach out and ask them, how did you get here? And they can talk about themselves for, like, if you're like, I don't know what to say, just asking simple questions like, how did you get here? And they'll talk to you 30 minutes. Like, maybe they'll ask you, but people love talking about themselves, especially because it's probably not easy, like, to get to where they can, like, to get to where they are right now was not an easy journey. And so just asking, how did you get here? or what resources, or can you even mentor me? Some professors will even just say, I can be your mentor. I've had that happen to me, like, yeah, let me mentor you. So it's like people want to help out. So you just have to like put yourself in those spaces that you want to be in, and learning that it's going to take time. Like so when I first started college, for example, I used to write like 10-minute poems. Like I could talk for 10 minutes, but I was like, okay, let me try to like cut down. Like I don't want to reduce what I'm saying, like maybe 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And that took time, or even waking up at 5 a.m. Like when I first started college, I was very late to all my classes. I was always late to work. But these things take time. I knew what my goal was. So I was like, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. I want to be better at time management. I want to write 5-minute pieces. I want to cut down this and this and this. So it's always having like or I want to be a professor. I want to be a teacher. So how do I put myself in these spaces, and how do I manage my time more wisely? How do I improve my poetry? Because you're always improving. So it's just having that goal in mind. And now that I'm like a senior, I'm still improving. Like I'm not perfect, but the way that I was like my freshman year, through all these experiences that I've done, people could see me growing. And when I finally started managing my time better, everybody was like, what happened? Like, they could see that change. And so, but that's because they've been with me for like 5 years now. So if you want to do something, know what like your goal is. Put yourself in that space and put in the time that you need to get to that place. And sometimes you're going to go back into old habits, and you're going to like, you just keep, what your end goal is. It can take 5 years. It took me 5 years. Like it can take longer, but as long as you have like the end in mind and know that it's going to take time, and know that it won't be linear, everything you're doing is to help you with the next chapter of your life. You might come in with, maybe I want to do this, like for me, like I came in wanting to be a teacher, like an English teacher, but I wouldn't have known that I wanted to be a social studies teacher. I wouldn't have, it would have been hard for me to like find confidence in like wanting to be a professor in the future had I not taken advantage of all these resources that were already put in place for me. So people want to help you out, come with your vision, and just take advantage of it. Like, you're not coming here for free. Like, just take advantage of all the opportunity that the university has to offer, and put yourself in the spaces, and reach out to professors, and like, I know career counselors, like you can go in there to talk about pretty much anything. Like if you're nervous, talk to an advisor, or if you're nervous to reach out to some like a professor or somebody, like just go in and be like, how can I talk to, like they'll give you the tools, they'll give you the resources, because they want to see you succeed. So yeah, like you're not alone, and you have all these different opportunities. So just like take advantage of them and figure out what your next step is. That's advice I'd give them.
That's excellent advice.
What emotions? I don't know. It's kind of like it's like a mixture of emotions. Like part of me is like kind of scared because I'm like, what am I doing? But part of me is like, I'm ready. Like I've done everything that I could. I have taken advantage of everything that I could. I have made all the connections that I needed to make. And I know that moving forward, that I'm not alone in this process. So it's exciting because I've been able to do so much just in like the few years I've been here. And I know like moving forward, I'm going to use what I've learned to like help me. So it's scary, but I know I got it because I've got it so far, this far, and I'm not alone. So.
What do you mean when you say I'm not alone moving forward, even though you're graduating?
Well, just like as I'm figuring out the next step, all the people that I've met during my time here, they all want to help me. And as I'm going on into like whatever I decide to do afterwards, I know that they'll want like updates, because like I know that they've cared about me, and I think I've been people who actually care about me and my success. And so I've been supported all this time. And so like going forward, like I feel confident to like continue meeting with people who can support me, but also knowing that I already have like people here who care about my success. So, yeah. My name is Atosha Rypa, and this is my CLA story.